From CTV News, ProvinceWide continues. Here again is Diane Vernile.
When the temperature climbs, so do beer sales in Ontario. The vast majority of beer consumed is made by the big manufacturers, but craft brewers are on the rise again. After near extinction being bought up by the big players, small independent beer makers started to reappear in the 1980s. Waterloo's Brick Brewery is credited with initiating Ontario's independent brewing renaissance. Today, there are over 100 craft breweries operating across the province, including microbrewers, bars and restaurants making their own, and mom-and-pop operations. In the last decade, their market share has more than doubled to about 5%. Producing these locally made lagers, ales, pilsners, and stouts are providing thousands of jobs across the province. Well, two of those craft beer makers are in our studio now. Brent Davies is with Wellington Brewery in Guelph, and Rob Creighton heads Grand River Brewing in Cambridge. Well, brewing in Ontario started out very small. It was always a regional operation, but when the big players took over, how tough was it on the mom-and-pop operations?
Consolidation happened very quickly. It was very much a later thing. It was the 30s, the 40s. The end result of Prohibition brought a change in business. Business brought one guy in who bought them all.
So when you say consolidation, it means that they were buying up the little guys.
Absolutely. They swallowed hundreds of breweries.
So by the 1980s, though, we see Jim Brickman in Waterloo, who decides to challenge the big guys. He starts up his craft brewing business. You two joined a few years later. You were just a year later. Why did your company decide to try and tackle this?
I think just it was started by Phil Gosling. He wanted to see whether there was a need out there for good quality, flavorful beers, and he brought that in by baking small batches and starting with, I guess, a local approach where we used local licensees, different things that way, where we were able to let people try the beers and just seeing it grew from there. And
Rob, you started up in 2007. Why did you want to make beer?
The owners of the brewery, I'm the head brewer there. The bottom line is the owners had a passion for it. It's a small business. Bob was not ready to retire, and this was something he really, really wanted to get in, and he thought the opportunity was right.
And right across Ontario, you see this happening. From region to region, does the beer taste very different?
Absolutely. Water governs everything. Both Brent and I share one thing, that's hard water. Guelph has hard water, 3 breweries. Cambridge has very hard water, a brewery. Creemore has hard water, a brewery.
So this makes better beer, does it?
Well, it certainly does make great beer in our area.
So you are making this beer, but the big challenge is letting the public know that you're out there and that they need to buy this product. So how are you doing this in Cambridge?
We're very low-key. Bottom line is there was no craft beer in Cambridge when we arrived, so it's a matter of introducing people to different flavors. And I mean from very light to very dark, very low in alcohol to very high in alcohol. And that has been a process of just constant people coming by saying, hey, I've dropped by to see you, and I've driven by here 1,400 times, and I've never stopped in. So now they're stopping in and buying their beer.
You're both in the LCBO?
Yes. Correct.
And the beer store?
We're not in the beer store.
We've been in the beer store. We've been in the beer store for quite a few years, and it's a channel that we've had success in. We're able to sell our beer in that channel. We've seen a lot of growth in the LCBO. They've been very helpful where they've actually they got merchandising programs that are directed specifically for craft beers, which we find it's very, very beneficial for us. Lets the customer actually have a taste of what they like, what they would maybe want in a different type of beer.
Oh, you're a bigger brewery, so you are in the beer store. Do you want to be in the beer store?
Only if the distribution system suits our needs. Unfortunately, they're owned by the big breweries. Labatt's, Molson's, and Sleeman own the beer store. So they changed to a method of marketing that was against our general purpose of being there, and unfortunately we just had to say no, there's no reason to go to your store. Now they're going back to what's called self-serve, which serves us.
Okay.
And they've made a commitment to go to it, so hopefully we can go there, because they sell 80% of the beer in the province.
Well, craft beer makers are enjoying about a 5% share right now in the market. Is that good enough?
We'd like to see that grow.
Yeah.
We're happy with it now. We've seen a substantial increase over the last 10 years in the craft beer industry, so we would like to see it, get pushed towards maybe the 10 to 12% mark would be
I'm
we'd
much
like to see
more
it.
aggressive on that. I've been in it 35 years, and the bottom line is I see 25% coming to us within the next decade.
Okay, where do you think your business is going to be in a few years?
Oh boy, there's the guess. Making money. There's the important part right there. We all have to make a dollar.
Okay, Brent, what are your big plans?
We've seen some pretty good expansion growth in the last 2 to 3 years now, and we hope to expand more further with a larger brew house, everything like that. But keeping into consideration, we want to keep the quality and consistency of our beer. We don't want to lose that for our customers right now. So.
Well, Brent and Rob, thank you both very much for coming and sharing your story with us today.
Thank you very much.
Grab something to write with. Your mail and how to reach us are coming up on ProvinceWide.